I'm gonna beat you, Mike. I'm gonna beat you, Mike. Oh no. No, you don't! Yes! I won!
Movie menu, the movie menu. Movie menu, the movie menu. Movie menu.
Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm Dan the Man Munoz, host of Movie Menu Reviews, your weekly movie news and reviews podcast. Joined with my special co-host, Mike Stan! How's it going, Mike?
It's going good. Going a lot better now that I've been serenaded.
Yay! So we're here to review Disney's McFarland USA. USA.
Mira, sé que me descifras y te miro, yo también lo haré, lo sabes bien. Este camino es como un libro abierto y si hoy es el último día de mi vida, vida mía, todo lo daré.
Okay, Mike, we're going to discuss what worked, what didn't work, and our final thoughts before we review this film. All right, Mike, what worked?
The performances. I think Kevin Costner did a great job. They have a very fleshed out lead character here. He's very well rounded. They included all his flaws. He's like forgetting birthday cakes and throwing cleats at people's heads. Not in his running team. That was in his previous life. But we get to see all his flaws, and I enjoyed that he's not.
So he's a jerk.
Yeah.
We enjoy that he's a jerk.
He's a jerk, but he acknowledges his jerkness, and he's like, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Like that, yeah.
And the other performances of the kids,
Yes.
the running team was really good, led by Captain Thomas, who is played by Carlos Pratt, and the rest of the actors. A lot of them were first-time actors. They answered an open casting call from Disney, and they got cast, and they did maybe like a month's worth of acting training before they started the film. And I have to say that they did a great job being very natural. I didn't feel like any of them were acting. They seemed very real to their characters, which I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah. It did.
I didn't feel like Hollywood people playing, Latino characters. I really felt like the community, like they plucked them straight out from the community, and I thought that was great.
Yeah. It did have an authentic feel to it for sure. And was it just me, Dan, or did McFarland remind you a lot of like East LA or something? that's what it felt.
It did.
It was like East LA minus like we don't. I mean, I haven't seen fields around here, like crop fields, but
yeah, no.
But that I think it's like East LA minus the fields. It's like yeah. I know that liquor store. I'll buy the piñata there.
Yeah, that's a great thing. It has a sense of community there. And it had a great sense of community in this movie. And I really think the director did a great job displaying that and not showing the typical where there's always violence and gangbanging and all this stuff. Like, there was a nice central, especially the Diaz family. Which
yes.
There's 3 kids that are in the team. They're all from the Diaz family. And the Diaz family was great. I really enjoyed the mom. The mom's performance reminded me of my own mom, which it was great to watch on screen. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, she was like beating up her kids to go work.
Well, she was just a very strong Latina.
Yeah. She was waking them up. She was like, "All right, kids, you gotta go to work."
But it's enjoyable to watch because she's very like matter of fact, but it's very funny. Like there's some humor to it, and it's all with love. So
yeah,
at least I hope so because that's what my mom does to me. So, Mike, what didn't work?
What didn't work to me was the pacing. The pacing was a little slow at times, and I think that affected the film. And I think this film was a little over 2 hours. It could have easily been cut shorter. And I think the reasoning for that were a few subplots that kind of that weren't developed enough, so it didn't get anywhere.
To talk about one of the subplots that didn't work.
One of the subplots that didn't work was there's like an abusive father subplot with Carlos Pratt's character lead. So he's like the main, like he's the captain of the running team, and he also has to deal with like his abusive father that just came back from prison. And I think it seems like it's not developed enough to really go anywhere, and it just kind of leaves you hanging sort of in the end. So that could have either been more developed or just gone completely. What about you, Dan?
one subplot that didn't work is for me as well is that I know it's Disney, but there was this forced love story between Kevin Costner's daughter and Carlos Pratt's character Thomas, where she had a crush on him and he had a crush on her. They never developed it, and I was hoping that by the end, like, oh, these characters got married, and like, there's some type of payoff or something like that would have allowed me to be invested in this subplot, but nothing went with it, and it was unnecessary. And I mean, I understand that there's young love and whatnot, but if any love story should have been, it should have been between the marriage of Kevin Costner and his wife. But I do have to say though, what are your final thoughts before we review this film?
Sure. Final thoughts for this film. I would say it is a really good underdog movie. If you love underdog movies, I think you'll appreciate this very much.
There's one subplot that we didn't mention about Danny Diaz. His subplot is probably one of the best subplots in the whole movie.
He's kind of like the quiet chubby guy. No one really.
It was funny because this whole team is an underdog, but Danny is the underdog within the underdog team.
He's the underdog of underdogs. And even then there's 6 runners and then Danny. Yeah. So
even Kevin Costner makes this line like, "Oh, you're important because I need your brothers."
That's in a nutshell. Yeah, and so he's this quiet underdog throughout the whole film, but we're allowed to see his progression.
This is great. It's so fun to watch. Even the final race with all the actors, you cheer them on. You're really invested with this team, and you want to see them win. And you just talk about your theater experience.
Yeah. So I saw it in the theater, and it was a packed house. So people were cheering during each race, and when they would see our McFarland team pass another runner, the audience would be like, "Yeah!"
So it's almost like it was watching a live sporting event.
Yeah, so it was great, and with the naturalness of these actors, it had that feel too. I was
really rooting for the actor, not for the actor, but for the character.
Yeah,
and I feel like this movie lends itself to that. If you feel like you want to cheer this movie, cheer, because it's such an inspirational, based on true story, and I really like when they show the actual real life people at the end of the film, which they did in this one, and I'd love to see where they were and where they are now. It's so inspirational, so fun to watch. All right, Mike, rate this film. Dine in, watch it in theaters, take out, wait and watch it at home, or leftovers, toss this film in the trash. Oof.
I say dine in with your. It's a family movie. Dine in with your mom or kids or whoever. It's a good family movie. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I agree. It's a great family movie, and you can take your whole family to watch it. I also say dine in, watch it in theaters. It's a very inspirational story. It's a very great underdog story, and it's based on a true story. So go out and watch it, see what happened, and it turns out that this team it's been in the news, so you should watch what happened in this movie, and you'll enjoy it a lot. All right, thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Dan.
So make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link is right here. If you're on your mobile device, the link is in our description below. Also, make sure to check out our previous reviews of Kingsman, which you can find the link here. If you're on your mobile device, the link will be in the description below. Also, check out our website, moviemenureviews.com, for movie news and reviews. Also, check out our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links are in the description below. And thank you guys so much. We'll be back next Monday for another video review. Thank you. Bye.
Movie menu, movie menu, the movie menu. Movie menu, movie menu, movie